Johnson, and I was trying to decide what type of Easter egg I wanted to create. There are so many different types of designs and materials that I can't just decide. Maybe you can help me pick which one I want to do. I have a special book that we can read to identify the key events that helps the character decide what type of Easter egg he makes. So let's get into a comfy spot. Okay, now that we're in a comfy spot, we can read our book, The Easter Egg, written and illustrated by Jan Brett. Hoppi is having as much trouble as I was picking out the perfect design for his Easter egg. As we read, we can identify elements in the story that might help us figure out how he made his decision. Let's start by identifying where the book takes place. Sometimes a story will tell us with the words where the setting is, sometimes it doesn't, so we might have to use the pictures to tell us. So let's look at this one. In the beginning, it doesn't tell us with the words, so we'll have to use the pictures. In this first picture, all we see is his house, so it might be kind of hard. But let's move on to this picture here. What do we see? We can see all the trees and the grass, so we might guess and say that they're in the woods or somewhere out in the wild where rabbits live. Now, we want to look at key or main events that happen in the book. When we say this, we want to look at key or main events. This means that things that happen in the book that are very important to the story. As we read the story, let's look out for what the key or main events in the story is. So once again, we'll be reading The Easter Egg, written and illustrated by Jan Brett. Cheer up, spring is here. Time to start on my very first ever Easter egg, Hoppi said. Each year, the bunny who decorated the winning egg got to help the Easter rabbit hide the eggs on Easter morning. Hoppi had been dreaming about being that bunny all year long. Now it is time to get started. Everywhere Hoppi looked, rabbits were working on dazzling eggs. I need an amazing idea, he thought. Hoppi spotted Flora Bunny planting spring wildflowers in her eggs. The Easter rabbit will love those colorful flowers, he thought, and started picking flowers for his egg. Here's a basket for your flowers, Hoppi, Flora said. Chop, chop, scrap, scrap. Hoppi spied Buster Birch carving a magnificent wooden egg. I wish I had some wood for my egg, he wished out loud. Here you go, Hoppi, Buster Birch said, and he put a smooth, round piece of wood in Hoppi's basket. Thank you, Buster, Hoppi said. Hoppi was hopping along when the smell of sweetness led him out of the woods and straight to the chocolate egg that Aunt Sassafras was decorating with creamy frosting, squiggles, and bows. Hello, Hoppi, she said, and she put some chocolate squares in his basket. Hippity hop, Hoppi exclaimed. I'll make the Easter rabbit a chocolate egg so sweet it'll make his whiskers tingle. Then Hoppi saw Granny Irene decorating one of her famous story eggs. First, she traced the design on the egg with a special tool. Then she dipped the egg in pots of yellow, green, orange, and red dye, adding to the design each time. Hoppi couldn't believe his eyes. I'll never make an egg that beautiful, he told Granny Irene. She smiled. Try, she said, giving him one of her special tools. Hoppi was hopping by Hans Vanderrabbit's garden when he spotted an extraordinary egg. Hans was painting a portrait of the Easter rabbit so real that he looked alive. "Fantastic!" Hoppi exclaimed. "Thank you, Hoppi," said Hans. "Why don't you make a painting on your egg?" He gave Hoppi pots of paint and a fine brush. As Hoppi bounced along, a loud boing nearly knocked him off his feet. It was a whirling, twirling mechanical egg. "Whoa!" Hoppi said. "That's an unusual egg. Would you like to make one?" Roberto asked. Hoppi tried hard, but the harder he tried, the more parts and pieces piled up around him. "Thank you, Roberto," he sighed, "but I think I'd better make the egg that is right for me." Hoppi hopped back to the woods and lay down under a tall tree to think. "Making a beautiful egg is harder than I imagined," he thought. "I guess I don't have to win. I just want to make an egg I am proud of." Suddenly, the woods rang with the squawking of birds sounding an alarm. Mother Robin swooped down, calling wildly as if she couldn't decide where to go. An egg had tumbled out of Mother Robin's nest. Inside the perfect blue egg was a baby robin that needed its mother to keep it warm until it hatched. Hoppi knew what he had to do. He sat down carefully and covered the blue egg with his soft, warm fur. "I'll take care of you the best I can," he whispered. Relieved, Mother Robin chirped and settled down on her other 2 eggs. Hoppi never left the robin's egg. If it was sunny and warm, he carefully turned the egg to its nest of moss. If it was rainy and cold, he kept the egg covered and dry. At night, wild animals passed by. Hoppi crouched down and stayed hidden in the ferns. Often he heard strange noises coming from above, but Hoppi didn't run away. Every day the rabbits worked on their eggs. Tadpoles turned into frogs. Buds swelled into leaves, and Easter came closer and closer. Finally, it was time for the rabbits to take their eggs to the glen. They had forgotten all about Hoppi, who was quietly sitting on the blue egg under the tall tree in the woods. Early the next morning, the rabbits waited for the Easter rabbit. Suddenly, a beautiful wagon rolled towards them out of the mist. And stopped. The Easter bunny stepped down from the wagon and admired the decorated eggs one by one. "You have brought me the most beautiful eggs in the world, but a very special one is not here," he told them. The rabbits were puzzled. Whose egg was it? "Fill my wagon with your wonderful eggs," he said. "When I return, I will show it to you." And he disappeared into the woods. He came back with Hoppi, looking scruffy and bedraggled. "Hoppi has an amazing egg to be proud of," the Easter rabbit told them. "He has kept Mother Robin's egg warm and safe until her baby bird hatched and she could take care of it." The Easter rabbit placed the empty blue shell in the place of honor on top the wagon. Now they were ready to go. The rabbits cheered for the eggs that had been surprised them all. "It's our best Easter ever, Hoppi," they shouted. Then the brave little bunny and the Easter rabbit rode off together to hide the eggs for girls and boys to find on Easter morning. Well, look at that. Hoppi was able to find an egg just for him. So he was so excited to be able to create his own Easter egg, and then he went on such a journey to find the one that fit him. Now, during the story, there were events that happened. Hoppi visited many of his friends to get ideas from them. He saw how they were creating their eggs, and they were even nice to give him some supplies. These events are all supporting events to the main idea. This means they were small events before the main event. The story lets us know what main event led to Hoppi to pick his Easter egg. Can you remember what the main event was? The most important event in the story is that Mother Robin's egg fell out of the nest, and Hoppi decided he should take care of it for her. Although he could have been decorating an egg, he wanted to make sure the baby bird would be taken care of. And because of his actions, the baby bird was safe, and the Easter rabbit picked the eggshell he had taken care of to be the winning egg. Now, just like Hoppi, we can create our own Easter egg. What is special is just like the other characters in the book. What we need are regular materials. We don't need an actual egg to decorate. You can come up with your own way to make an Easter egg. Maybe like Aunt Sassafras, you can make one with food, or paint one like Hans Vander Rabbit. You might use wood or other materials inside or outside your house. Now I decided I'm going to paint an egg. Why don't you take some time to think over what you want to do and then get crafting on some great Easter eggs. This is all for today. I hope that you all enjoyed the story, and I will see you in the future with another video.